Okay, so the time has come. Been putting this off as long as I could, but running out of watches to talk about on this channel. And this is actually one of the first watches that I featured on the channel. Very short video, but honestly, I think that all watches deserve representation, even Invictas. Why not? So this is my Invicta Pro Diver, reference number 89270B. Review wristwatch check. I'm wearing my Gevril. I felt it was appropriate given that I'm going to be talking about an homage to the Submariner today. So let me get the box out of the way. I already unboxed this watch on another video, so if you're interested in watching it, go ahead. I'll put a link of it on the top right corner of your screen. So this is a steel and gold version. Obviously, this is PVD gold. This is not real gold. This is just plated. You know, let's just get that out of the way. This is obviously a Submariner clone. It has the Mercedes arrow hand, just like the Submariner. Pretty much all the indices around it are pretty much the same as a Submariner. You know, similar to my Gevril, honestly. But the Gevril is actually a little, I would say, less of an homage, even though it's very much an homage of the Submariner, since there is a slight difference to the Mercedes hand. It's not quite the same. As you can see, it's a little thinner on this one. This is more matches what's on a Rolex. And this is 43 millimeters. And as far as I know, there's never been a Submariner that big. So, you know, based on the size and, you know, the Mercedes hand is a little different. So there's slight differences in this. And, you know, obviously you can get a Submariner with a Jubilee, but yeah, I still love my Gevril, you know. If you found this review helpful so far, I'd really appreciate if you can give this video a thumbs up. That would be really amazing, and let's keep going. Anyway, back to the Invicta. So let's go into a little more detail about the dial. Obviously it's black. It has applied indices with some, you know, gold accents. This, you know, the theme of this watch is basically gold. There is a little bit of superluminova or like Lume within the. That's, you know, I actually did a Lume test on this a while back, and it was I wouldn't say it's very strong. The Lume is not terribly strong. It's got 4 lines of text right above the 6 o'clock, and the obviously the Invicta symbol there. So the hands are obviously very, very Rolexy, very Submariner. You have I guess the only thing that kind of sets it apart is the seconds hand, which does have like the Invicta symbol counterweight and it does have like a lollipop at the end of at the tip of the seconds marker. I do like the Cyclops. It does help in making it a lot easier to read the date. I actually do like that about I wish, you know, the fact that you know, adding a Cyclops to any watch pretty much means that you're trying to copy a Rolex, and it kind of puts you in homage territory. So it's a shame, because I really do think it's helpful, because some date windows are quite small and it's hard to read. And, you know, I'm getting a little older, and I find myself in the morning especially, you know, not finding it a little hard to, you know, read the date, read small text. I'm still not quite there, but I'm getting close to where I might need some reading glasses. So the bezel is quite good. Bezel actions, you know, is not, I mean, given the price tag of this thing, it's solid. It's, you know, it's 120 clicked bezel. So as you can probably hear that pretty good. No complaints about the bezel there. You know, I guess what I should talk about is why did I actually buy this watch? And I actually bought this watch when I reviewed my Gevril over here. I wanted to point out that, because, you know, a lot of people would probably think that why am I buying my Gevril? It's a Submariner clone. Why don't I just buy an Invicta and save a lot of money? So that's precisely why I bought this one. And I was expecting a way inferior product than I got. And to be honest, for I paid $56 for this. This is a really nice watch for the money. I think it's going for a little more right now, but, you know, if you wait for sales and stuff, you can get it cheaper. I think I saw it under $50 once for the blue dial version. Believe it or not, I was tempted to buy it, but I did not, since I'm like, yeah, I only need one of these things. And if you're gonna buy an Invicta, this is probably the one to get. Invicta makes some of the ugliest watches out there in the world. I don't even know how they think of these things, why they think people would want to wear these, but obviously they make them, and I don't know if they make them. I'm assuming they sell them, but these things are the ugliest things. I'll probably try to post a picture, put a picture of one of them up here. I don't know where they get out of that. I don't know how they do it. So obviously the bezel's got PVD coating all around it. This is not solid gold. This is a coating, so don't get any ideas. It does make the watch a lot flashier. I mean, again, like I think like I spent under 60 bucks on this thing. It's a nice bezel. It's a nice dial for the money. It's the Cyclops is effective, and you know there isn't much more to say. You know, other than that. So let's just move on to the crown. It's got a signed. It has a signed crown with the Invicta logo on it. Let me see if I can get you a better look. Also coated in PVD. It has some crown guards there, very Submariner-esque crown guards, similar to mine, to my Gevril again. Gevril ones are milled much nicer. The finishing on this watch is way better than this watch. You can, if you just kind of tell, you can look at the bezel and how much sharper it feels and much easier to turn than this one. But again, you know, I spent $500 for this watch, and this is 56. So you gotta really good for the money. Well, that's all I'm gonna say. You know, and I'm not gonna criticize anybody for wanting a piece of the good life. You know, because most people can't afford. You know, let alone I think a Submariner is supposed to MSRP at $9,000. Good luck finding one of those. The snobbery going on at Rolex ADs is just incredible. I don't know how many watches you probably have to buy, or how to get on a wait list, or how to even get your hands on a watch at MSRP. But even at MSRP, we're talking $9,000. I would have a hard time, honestly, justifying spending $9,000 on a watch. I spent under $5,000 for my Black Bay 5895, which is what's made out of silver. It's a really nice watch, but still not $9,000. That's probably, if you take all the watches that I own, we're not even there yet. I'm not even at $9,000. So I can't fault anybody for wanting to, you know, have something that they think is nice and flashy. I can understand the appeal of this thing. The Submariner is a beautiful watch. It just is. If you want, I may recommend buying, you know, the stainless steel version of the Invicta. If, you know, you want something that's a little less, I mean, because maybe you could have, you know, bought you know, if you're like a normal person, maybe you bought a stainless steel one for $9,000 maybe, but this, you know, the gold version is way more. So it's definitely not, it makes it a lot less believable. But yeah, I wear this once in a while, you know, just for kicks, and it actually is quite nice. Again, the operation, so let me show you. So this has a screw down crown. Again, you can wind the watch like this. I'll put the watch on my Timegrapher so you can see how accurate it is in a second. So I'm winding the watch. You pull it out again, so I can take down the date. So I'm down to the 26th. If you go down, if you pull it out all the way, yeah, you're changing the time. So, and that's as simple as it is. And then you screw down the crown again, and it's nice and locked. I believe this watch has, well, they claim 200 meters of water resistance. Again, I can't confirm the rating. This looks like it does have a screw down crown, so maybe that's possible. Let's get a look at the case back here real quick. So it's got like a little bit of a decorated rotor, which is kind of nice. Gets you a little bit of color back there. Let me see. There you go. You got the balance wheel, you know, doing its thing. You know, it's actually not that bad. Again, this, I should probably say this is yeah, there you go. It says water resistant to 200 meters. So, you know, I mean, I would believe it. I mean, it looks like it has a screw down crown. It has a screw down crown. It has a screw down display back. I mean, I could believe that it could, you know, I'm not going to put it in a pressure tester. I'm not going to pressure test it or anything, but let's say you take it diving. What's the worst that happens? You lose 56 bucks or 60 bucks or whatever. So it's not a big deal. So if it doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. You just buy another one if you want. So it's not a big deal if it breaks. So yeah, it does have a nice display case back. I believe, I'm pretty sure this is like mineral crystal on the display back, and in the front, your front display crystal. So let's talk about the movement a little bit. This movement, this is a Seiko-based movement. This is called the NH35. I believe it's rated about 41 hours of power reserve. I'll put a little more detail on the screen there. And you know, it's a very reliable Seiko Japanese movement. You know, can't go wrong with a Seiko movement. It's a workhorse movement. It does have hacking. Beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's pretty standard like Seiko stuff, and to get that kind of movement in a watch for 60 bucks is pretty incredible. It's got that going for it, definitely. The Seiko movement is solid. So this is the first watch I'm going to put on my Timegrapher. So let's see how it does. I mean, it's actually pretty accurate. I'm actually pretty surprised. It's got, it's currently going at -2 seconds per day with a 0.3 millisecond beat error. So it's actually pretty good. So yeah, again, this is a Seiko movement, so yeah, so it's -2, -3 beats per day right now. So pretty good. Not bad for 56 bucks. So now I have my Gevril on here just to give you a little bit of a comparison, and actually it appears that the Invicta is slightly more accurate. This is +6 seconds per day, which in itself is pretty good. But yeah, I'm getting +4 to +6. The beat error is actually a little smaller. It's 0.1 instead of 0.3. So let's move on to the bracelet. Bracelet's like an oyster style bracelet with a nice polished PVD in the middle, and some brush links on the side there. So it's quite nice, and it's very comfortable to wear. It has push pins to size it, which is again pretty standard for this price point. I can't fault it for that. Looks like it does have hollow end links, but again, at this price point, you really can't complain. I think the links are solid as far as I could tell. They are solid links, so it is a pretty decent quality bracelet. As you can see, the back of the bracelets, it's not PVD coated. It's just PVD coated in the front. And if you actually look at you can see there's like a seam where the PVD coating ends on each bracelet. So, you know, you may want to just buy the stainless steel one, but yeah, I bought this one specifically because it was the cheapest one I could find, because I just wanted to prove a point that my Gevril was superior. That's so it has a stamped point clasp. It has some micro adjustability. Looks like 4 levels of it. So I actually adjusted mine a little bit to get a slightly better fit. It does click into place. I mean, honestly, it's a pretty good bracelet, and it feels secure and nice and sturdy. I don't feel like it's going anywhere. So let's take some quick measurements here. Weight of 145 grams, pretty standard for a watch of this size that's stainless steel. Just to give you a comparison, just to give you a point of comparison, there's my Gevril. Again, this is a 43 millimeter watch, so it should weigh a lot more. It's coming in 160 grams, so I mean, it's only 15 grand difference. You probably wouldn't even notice that too much on your wrist. Should be about 40 millimeters. Yep, 39.9, basically 40 millimeters. Let's do the width real quick. Yeah, 13.5 millimeters in thickness, which, you know, it's a little on the thicker side. It's not too thick though, it's okay. And I'll give you a quick lug to lug here. About 47 millimeter lug to lug. And I know for a fact that the bracelet, the lug width is 20 millimeters, but you know, I can give you a quick little Yeah, 19.7. So that's, yeah, 20 millimeters. Yeah, that's the measurements. I'll give you a wrist shot now. And this is how it looks on my 7¼ inch wrist, or 18.4 centimeters. You know, to be honest, from across the room, you probably look like a millionaire wearing this thing. Because it does pretty much is a ringer for, it looks just like a sub. And an expensive sub at that. But yeah, that's how it looks. I think that fits, I mean, it fits great. You know, it's a really good size diver watch. You know, it's a really good size watch, and I think it fits great. This is my Lume Testomatic Lume testing device. It shines. It's actually for disinfecting cell phones, but I'm repurposing it for the purposes of this to test out these the watches' lumes. So I got the Gevril, the Invicta, and the tag. I'm going to put them out to head and give them about a minute of UV light and see how they do. As you can see right off the bat, the Invicta had the porous lume. It just literally came out right now. Invicta's pretty much gone. I'd say the Gevril and the Tag Heuer are neck and neck. One thing I noticed, the Gevril has some nice lume on the hands. Tag Heuer doesn't, or it only has it on, I guess it has little dots only on the hour marker. They're kind of fading now. I'm gonna give it to the, I'm gonna say they're about the same. And you gotta hand it to Tag. I mean, this is a 10 plus year old watch, and it's still holding up quite well with the lume. So. So to round out my final thoughts on this watch, I think this watch it's a very good value if you're okay with wearing a very, very close copy of a Submariner. You know, and that's it's got a quality movement inside. It's got pretty good finishing for the money. It's just really nice. If you're gonna buy an Invicta, this is way better. This watch is a way better option than a lot of the other Invictas that they make, which are some of the most hideous things I've ever seen. So yeah, I wouldn't be caught wearing some of those. I mean, even if you gave it to me, I wouldn't wear it. You know, it should be. These things need an exorcism. They don't need to be sold. They need to be destroyed. But anyway, not enough about the Invicta bashing. I think Invicta made a solid watch. Maybe you've been lusting over a Submariner for years, and this is the way. Wear this one until you can really afford one. You work hard, you save your money, you buy the real thing. But for now, you can wear something that looks just like it. So, and I can't fault people for doing that. And again, I own one myself, so it's a great value watch. So that's all I'm gonna leave it at that. If you found this review helpful, it'd be amazing if you can like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about the watch or pretty much anything about watches, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll answer them as best as I can. And I'll see you in the next one.